And God gave me a revelatory gift. He showed me something in this. He said, you know, I use great moments to pull greatness out of great men. I did not send David to slay Goliath. I sent Goliath to prove to David that what resides in him is a giant. This giant that sits before you today, he is not for your destruction, it is for your construction. You will slay this giant. So you play together, one man with another. You play connected, each man for the other.
The enthusiasm to play the game and have fun playing the game, that's when I like to retire. An aggressive player is a hard player to beat. When they steal a base, when they break up a double play, aggressive people are hard to beat because they keep coming at you.
The three, shot no good, the chiplet's gone!
From the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Drew Brees on the feed? Nothing like when Drew pops up on the feed. He was born to get the boys barking. Inject sports into my veins, man. Find me some way to smoke a crowd pop and I'll become a first-time drug user. Put a clutch play in a pill and you'll find me dead of an overdose. Sports get me fired up, but as always, there's levels to this. Not every sport is equal. There is a hierarchy to how much I can get in my feels about sports. Only a few things can get me hot, get me chomping at the bit. Only a select exhibition of the unconquerable human spirit and stretching of the human body can bring that dog out of me. So here are my rankings from last to first of the sports that can make me feel like life is worth living. Soccer. Soccer makes me feel the opposite of alive. The only reason I put it in this video is so I can say how much I hate this sport. It's an affront to the United States of America that we even pretend to be invested in this game every 4 years. It is the antithesis of what we love as Americans. The beautiful game? More like having to watch this is shame. Here are 10 things I would rather do than the degrading, flopping, no fun having, allergic to scoring snooze fest the rest of the world calls their favorite sport. Number 1. Take a Mike Tyson left hook to the dome. Number 2. Be left 1v1 to block prime James Harrison. Number 3. Contest a Shaq two-handed slam. Number 4. Eat a Jacob Mizorowski 105-mile-per-hour piss missile. Number 5. Step into the cage against John Jones. 6. Swallow a Derrick Henry stiff arm. 7. Allow Tiger Woods to be my chauffeur. Number 8. Become a cricket superfan. Number 9. Become an Angels fan. Number 10. Relive Taysom Hill's failed 2-point conversion versus Utah. I hate soccer and I'm not afraid to say it. 10. Anything other than soccer. You name it. World Series of Poker, chess, cornhole, curling, hobby horsing, whatever this is, just don't put on soccer. Number 9, tennis. I'm not going to pretend like I watched more than 1 hour of tennis in total, but tennis occasionally appeared on SportsCenter top 10s back in the day, and I was mildly impressed. I remember being like 12 years old and occasionally paying attention to ESPN debates on whether Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, or Novak Djokovic were better players at the time. I picked Rafael Nadal just because I liked his vibe. Didn't watch a single second of him, but he was a name I could pull out of my back pocket in a tennis discussion. 8. Bowling. Didn't watch much of this either, but come on now. How can you not get psyched about Pete Weber? I mean, this guy is just screaming at nobody, and every word is nonsensical. His wife can't even watch this masterpiece be painted. Who are you? I am. It's like he was given the gift of tongues and he is preaching the gospel. This right here is the definition of electric. Other than Pete, it is occasionally entertaining to see some nasty strikes on late night bowling reruns. For some reason, bowling would occasionally appear on the TV screens at my local burger joint that I ate at often. Eating a JCW's cheeseburger and fries at 2 o'clock in the afternoon is a surprisingly incredible time to consume bowling reruns. 7. Volleyball. Second best acrobatics only to basketball. When you get some dudes that can jump out of the gym and they're raining meteors down on the other team, this is some good TV. From 2016 to 18, I remember checking BYU men's volleyball games and pulling up highlights in order to follow their success. Can't say I've followed too closely since then, but man, spiking it gets the juices flowing. 6. Golf. This may be a hot take, but golf is an underrated watch for getting the boys pumped. It used to possess the X factor when Tiger Woods was at his peak. He broke the game wide open and made it so you didn't have to just sit in the corner quietly while players hit incredible shots. He ushered in the average Joe being able to pull up to the golf course and treat the biggest shots like they were watching a 4th down and 1 yard to win the game. I mean, come on, just look at some of these shots. Tiger Woods is definitely top 10 for guys whose highlight reel you can just throw on the TV when you need to feel something. Just look at the red polo, the 500-yard drives, the nasty short game, and the celebrations after huge putts. Tiger was something special. Unfortunately, like most things with my age, I was only conscious for his last Masters win in 2019. I don't have any distinct shots that I remember from that 2019 win other than the final hole, but I just remember watching it in awe because I knew that Tiger was coming off a DUI and spinal fusion. The next time I would watch a round of golf that I labeled as electric was Rory McIlroy winning in the Masters in 25. You're telling me this dude blows a 2-stroke lead, a playoff is forced, and then Rory birdies to win? Absolutely incredible. Hearing that crowd injects something into me. 5. Hockey. Hockey would never be this high for me, but we just beat Canada and reasserted our dominance over that little brother that calls themselves a country. I lived in Toronto for 2 years and all they did was hate on Americans, so it felt good to beat them at their own game. I've put on some Wayne Gretzky tape once in a blue moon. I've been known to pause my early morning cereal eating to watch a slap shot in the SportsCenter top 10. Who doesn't like seeing some guy get smashed against the glass? Hockey, you ain't half bad. 4. Basketball. After debatably the worst NBA regular season of all time, filled with load management, a third of the league tanking, and the existence of basketball Satan, the Oklahoma City Thunder, it is difficult to put basketball this high. But, like every year, I think I'm out and they pull me back in with the playoffs. As soon as the Spurs took a series lead over the Thunder, I was back in. Then, I could have never predicted the most incredible 5-game series of all time. Jalen Brunson? Dog. OG Anunoby? Dog. Landry Shamet, dog. Seeing a team blow an almost 30-point lead is why we watch playoff basketball. Basketball is a historical entity, though. One of the toughest sports in history. Lakers, Celtics matchups. How about Bill Russell and Jerry West dueling it out? How about Larry Bird and Magic going bucket for bucket in the finals? How about Kobe splitting 2 finals versus KG, Pierce, and Ray Allen? What about the rest of the league? How about tossing on some Bad Boy Pistons tape and watching some high screens kill a guy? You can never go wrong throwing a Michael Jordan tribute on your screen. And then there was the NBA that I knew and loved. I remember being 12 and being stoked to watch Derrick Rose on Christmas Day go against Kobe's Lakers. I remember being a LeBron hater and being pissed off when he finally broke through against the Thunder. I remember the first time I watched Steph Curry light up a team for 40 points, bombing it from deep. I remember following Kawhi's 2019 playoff run as I prepared to live in Toronto and losing my mind in my living room when he hit the game winner against the 76ers. I can't believe I've waxed poetic this long and haven't mentioned college basketball, the best tournament in sports. Only in college sports can you get a collection of unforgettable guys that will do nothing professional. Throw on some highlight tape of DJ Burns on my screen, the best Zach Randolph impression I've ever seen. How about some Jimmer tape? What about some Golke tape? How about some Murray State Ja Morant? It's some of the best sports has to offer. Just gets me fired up. 3. UFC. I waffled between basketball and UFC taking the 3 spot, but UFC took a slight edge over the current state of basketball. UFC is not what I would call trending in the right direction, based purely on I don't give a damn about the guys from the forests of Russia who turn everything into a wrestling match. I want flying knee kicks. I want spinning elbows. I want Derek Lewis just beating guys with power and his hate for Russians. Alex Pereira gets me going. He just looks like the only reason he doesn't kill people is because he wouldn't get to enjoy the pain being inflicted. And you know what basketball doesn't have? Motocross and an octagon on the front lawn of the White House. UFC has some of the most potential for electric events. Just kick out the crotch goblins trying to take everything to the ground. I don't get fired up for dudes humping each other. 2. Baseball. Close your eyes and imagine along with me. It's a crispy October evening, crowd is on their feet, the closer is in the game just throwing absolute gas, the ball is just popping in the glove, the big slugger comes to the plate, the anxiety of the crowd is pushed to a fever pitch, the action is ratcheted up with every pitch as the crowd has to wait between throws for more action to happen, the closer rears back and throws a ball with not quite enough break and the slugger steps into the swing, then you hear the most beautiful sound in sports, the crack of the bat. The slugger gets nothing but barrel on the ball and it sends it into the stands, the crack being swallowed up in the pop of the crowd. As I spent more time trying to understand the history of baseball, I have determined that baseball is the only sport that captures mystical power from its history. I mean, look at these clips of records being broken. Look at Pete Rose break the all-time hits record. People are standing on their feet cheering for almost 10 minutes. The announcers are talking about getting choked up from the accomplishment. Look at this video of Barry Bonds breaking the home run record. Everyone is on their feet. The crowd explodes. They cheer for 10 minutes. Everyone is emotional. Fireworks are exploding. It means something for the city. Where does this hysteria come from? Now look at the other major sports when the records are broken. How about LeBron James breaking Kareem's scoring record? It's almost a complete dud. I should know. I watched it live. It appears that Kareem is the only person clapping. Everyone else in the shot is just filming on their phones and LeBron is acting like he is on the Broadway stage being showered by imaginary roses. You just watch it and you can only say to yourself, what the hell is happening? Why is this so schizophrenic? Isn't this one of the most incredible feats in sports? It's no different in football. Tom Brady broke Drew Brees' passing record and they didn't even stop the play. Then, a few years later, he became the only player ever to accumulate 100,000 passing yards in the playoffs and regular season combined. People didn't even sniffle at the accomplishment. Baseball is just something that transcends sports. It's like a religious sacrament that only the American conscience can feel in its spirit. I found myself feeling emotional as I pulled up the clip of Pete Rose breaking the record, and I was 15 years away from being born. If that doesn't say something about the feelings that the great sport of baseball can create, then I don't know what to tell you. And if you want to turn those cloudy eyes into full-blown tears, just combine a walk-off home run with a movie about going to see about a girl. Peak cinema, peak sports. Number 1, football. Once, America was ruled by the unchallenged iron grip of the nation's pastime, baseball. Now, in our modern day, it holds authority by sheer cult of personality. It no longer is the king of the mountain, the emperor of entertainment, the chancellor of culture. Football now reigns supreme, and it is obvious to everyone who loves the game. Football is the last bastion of all-out effort and sharp regular season play. Whether it is college or the pros, you know what you are getting any given Saturday or Sunday. The season balancing on the razor's edge of competition. In college, you may have your postseason hopes dashed by one single loss. Hell, sometimes you can never lose and still be rejected from the playoffs. In the NFL, you can still make the playoffs with a handful of losses, but unlike the NBA or MLB, you cannot afford to dip into the double digits of losing. You have 17 chances. Any week, someone can beat you, and in no other sport does the margin of error shrink as quickly as in football. What is the ever-present gravitational force which sets every aspect of a football season into motion? Violence. If you take a play off, you can get your head taken off. If you dog a route, you can have your bones broken or your knees shredded in half. This is a sport in which not even the greatest economists in the world could have balanced the resources of the game. There is 100 yards to be gained, an infinite number of combinations that can be achieved by 1s, 2s, 3s, and 6s of points. And then, the threat of violence can take away even the most skilled team's advantage. If you zoom out your microscope and peer down at the atmosphere outside of the gridiron, you can see an equally breathtaking spectacle. Stadiums are packed with over 100,000 screaming fans in some cases. Colleges have created their own languages, traditions, and histories around the greatness of the game. Entire cities, like Green Bay, center their existence around a football roster of 53 men. It is a game and a class all its own, and there is nothing in the entire world that can create the emotions that I feel every time I watch a football game. No sport has the highs or the lows. No game has the intricacy of strategy. No contest features more men from completely different upbringings and walks of life. And no season produces storylines like the game of football. It does something more than just fire me up. It fills me with pride to be a member of the human race. It's not just football, it's a game about life, and I can't wait to live it again in just a few short weeks.